You're very welcome back to the World Cleanup Day show, coming to you live from the beautiful city of Tallinn in Estonia. Thanks so much for joining us, and it has been quite a day so far. If you just joined us, this is the World Cleanup Day. This is the show where we keep you up to date on everything that's happening around the world. The cleanups have started hours ago, starting in Asia, and now they're making their way across Europe, Africa, and will be ending tonight in the United States of America. So far, we've checked in with loads of countries like Fiji, Cambodia, Iran, the list goes on, and we're going to keep on doing that right now. By the way, this is a very special show because in the next 15-20 minutes, we have a very important guest, a VVIP here in Estonia, but more on that later. Let's now turn our attention to Mozambique, and there for us is Carlos Serra. What is it like there in Mozambique?
Hi, how are you?
Thanks, good. And you guys, you are
I
a
need
lot
to
of
start.
people. Yeah, you
I
have a
didn't
lot
clean
of,
up yet.
yes.
Uh,
So you have a
okay.
lot of people
A
in
lot
the
of
beach.
people here. Yes, we are in a beach named Katembe in another part of the city. Actually, you can see the city over there, the center of the city. We are in another place. Okay, that was for us a challenge because this beach was too dirty before we come today. Our mission is to clean up and involving a lot of people. Actually, I was saying I don't know how many volunteers, but hundreds of people here in Katem, and of course in other cities also and village also of Mozambique. This is a national cleanup now.
That's good to hear. And you already also had the support from the government, right?
Yes, the government is here and also the municipality. The government is here. Our Minister of Land and Environmental is right here with me. She's cleaning, but also the municipality and the army. Our army is also here. Okay, a lot of volunteers, some private companies also. That's good. That's good.
So how
and
is
the village also, the local communities, they are also participating at these moments.
Okay.
Yes.
You said that the beach is really dirty. So what kind of trash is there?
Plastic, actually plastic. A lot of plastic. Plastic pollution is a serious problem here. The PET bottles are everywhere. Plastic bags also. Not so many cigarettes, but the plastic is everywhere. Okay, I can show you. Can you see?
But Carlos.
But in terms of campaign, in our case, the Mozambican situation, we decided to choose the plastic. The plastic is our key issue today. Plastic pollution everywhere. So we will try to clean up a lot of plastic in every part of the country. That's the idea.
But Carlos, I can see that you have a lot of work, so I think I will not keep you any longer.
Okay.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you so much, Carlos, there talking to our reporter Kelly just a little while ago with an update on what's happening in Mozambique. And don't forget, if you're one of the World Cleanup Day action groups, you're one of the leaders, keep your clips and your pictures coming to us here so we can share them with the rest of the world on the show. Now, let's go from Mozambique to Indonesia. This has been one of the huge success stories over the past couple of years of the World Cleanup Day. And they have been able to mobilize 9.5 million people. 500,000 people shy of 10 million. It is an incredible number, and that is 3% of the population of Indonesia. Indonesia, a huge country of islands, thousands of islands. And of course, when you see such big numbers like that, it always is the case that there's one strong leader at the helm driving this ship, and that is Augustina. So let's check in and find out from Augustina how she managed to mobilize 3% of the population of her country.
Well, now we're heading to Indonesia, where there's Augustina and Pandu from Let's Do It Indonesia. How are you? There's quite a lot of you there.
Hi, Hi, I'm Agustina from Indonesia. I'm the leader of World Cleanup Day Indonesia, and
I'm Pandu from Indonesia, co-leader of World Cleanup Day Indonesia, and this is our team from World Cleanup Day Indonesia, only some of us.
That's great. Well, this year has been different for all kinds of events around the world. How did the preparations go in Indonesia for the World Cleanup Day?
yes, this year, I think it has been different with so many countries because we cannot do regular cleanup, and we changed the concept to be individual cleanup and waste segregation at home. So everyone, million of people, already start to join the movement around Indonesia. Everyone is doing individual cleanup and waste segregation in their homes, and now we start preparing for the reporting itself.
How big is World Cleanup Day in Indonesia?
Our campaign is still the same, just like 2 years ago when we started the campaign of how to involve 5% of population in Indonesia. And the campaign itself, we call Kami 13 Juta, which means we are 13 million. And this year, we already have 9 million of people from last year. So we hope this year we can reach the target, how to bring this 5% of population to join individual cleanup and waste segregation.
What are the main challenges in your region?
Actually, about the challenges is quite similar with other countries in the world. As we know, today we face a really unfortunate situation with the COVID-19. But we never lose hope. We never want to stop. And then, so we keep contacting our leaders in the region with the online system, Zoom meeting, Leaders Academy online, and anything we do it online and in our home. So I think we still can share our positive energy to everybody in Indonesia today.
What impact has the World Cleanup Days given to Indonesia?
Yeah, normally, like last year, we are not really doing this waste segregation. Like last year, we are focusing on action itself, how to raise awareness of people from trust blindness issue. But this year, we are going to the next level where we are doing waste segregation at home, and everyone were inviting and everyone joining. They are so excited. They post so many pictures where they commit to change their behavior to do waste segregation at their home. So we are really seeing this impact from World Cleanup Day as a momentum itself, and how this momentum can change the behavior of people.
Well, thank you, Agustina and Pandu and the team from Indonesia.
Thank you for having us in here.
That's incredible. Some of the backstory of how Agustina mobilized 9.5 million people in her home country of Indonesia. Well, that's the backstory. That's how she did it. But let's bring you up to speed now with how things have been going in Indonesia. Agustina, it's back to you again with an update.
Hi, I'm Agustina here, leader of World Cleanup in Indonesia, and
Pandu from the co-leader of World Cleanup Day Indonesia, and our team over there.
our team are doing waste segregation right now behind of us.
So what does it mean? What do you do?
So yeah, in Indonesia itself, this year we have a little bit different the concept for the cleanup, because we are not doing a regular cleanup, only in some of safe place, like for not really have a high risk for COVID-19. They do small gathering, but mostly like in Jakarta and other city, we don't have a big gathering or regular cleanup. So what we are doing here, individual cleanup and waste segregation at home.
So what do you think? It has been different, but are the emotions still high? Is it still going well?
What do you think, Pandu?
Yes, we are still share the positive stories from the online, from the social media, and even until now we are having the live report from each region. Do you want to see around or later on?
Yes, you can see around. Also, we have our team over there who are working online in some, and they are now live from 34 regions. And also inside of this building, our team is there. They are having also online for 34 regions. So there are so many representatives from the island. They give online report right now. So yeah, same with us. We give you a short update from Indonesia.
So do you already also know what kind of trash have these people been picking up the most? Is it cigarette
Yes,
butts? Is
you
it
can.
plastic?
Yes, maybe Pandu will explain.
So
Come here, Pandu will explain how we do waste segregation here.
basically, we are we have the guideline from our social media from Instagram that what kind of waste you should segregate. Like this, we have glass, plastic here, and this is glass, this is can, this is residue, paper, bottle, and also organic. But mostly people, it's kind of difficult to segregate this kind of number. Maybe they are just organic, residue, and also recyclable. And mostly, usually plastic, of course. Plastic is the majority of the one that we gather most from the cleanup.
And you also said that you wrote down that you're doing like neighborhood cleanups, blogging, and basically digital cleanup, so everything. Do you know what has been the most popular?
Yes, for us, for sure that for this year, the most popular is individual cleanup and waste segregation at home, because our minister already announced it to all the minister and to all the ministry itself, to all the governor, mayors, and everyone should come on board and to do individual cleanup in their home and do waste segregations. But in some places, I already explained before, they also have regular cleanup. And also we have digital cleanup in some of our locations. It's so excited to see how people choose to have different kind of cleanup, and they really enjoy it because we can see it from the massive posting in all the social media account, because we have 34 account for Indonesia, which is representative of 34 provinces, and all of them now like posting everything what they are doing from their regions.
Well, it's really good to hear. So just keep up the positive attitudes and yeah, have a good day. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having us here. Bye.
Thank you very much, Augustina. Thank you very much, Indonesia, and keep up the great work. Amazing numbers, and I can't wait to see what you're doing again this year. Now, let me bring you back 2 years. This is the third World Cleanup Day. Last year, we moved to Kosovo. The year before that, for the first one, we were here in Estonia, coinciding with them celebrating 100 years of independence. The show was going great. I was presenting it with a co-host, C. It was a 24-hour live broadcast. It was crazy, it was manic, but it was great. And at one point, I went into the section filled with the volunteers, the call center, where there was young volunteers who were from universities, who were from the city, and they were talking to countries all over the world. Perfect. Then something quite embarrassing happened to me. Take a look at this.
One moment.
One moment. Okay, we'll wait. I'll wait here.
Selge.
Someone play the elevator
Aga ma soovin
music.
teile jõudu ja väga tänan teid veel kord.
This is real life. This is reality. He's okay. It's
Excuse
done.
me.
Yes, it's okay. I forgive you, sir. What is your name and where are you from?
My name is Yuri and I'm from Estonia, from Tallinn.
Okay, and what are you doing at the moment?
I'm here to volunteer and asking the feedback different places from Estonia. And you could see a lot of groups are finished, but a lot of are still working and cleaning.
And when you were on the phone there, who were you talking to?
Different people.
Pizza delivery or no? we're hungry. We have to eat.
No. I am asking what they are doing, what is the feeling, what is the feedback, and of course I am introducing myself and I'm a volunteer today here and saying hello.
And when you were not here, we've been finding out what everyone is doing. What do you do?
I'm working in the public sector. I'm the Prime Minister of Estonia.
Wow, how about that? The Prime Minister of Estonia, we had the President on earlier on, she's in Ukraine.
Yes,
And
she's
you've
in
come
Ukraine.
here. Yeah, that's amazing. So Prime Minister, how is everything going in the country? You're celebrating 100... Oh, how embarrassing. I was talking to the Prime Minister of Estonia. I thought I would never be welcomed back to Estonia after that embarrassing moment on this live broadcast around the world. Luckily, they allowed me to come back to the country, and the Prime Minister is with me again. Everyone, round of applause for our Prime Minister. Yuri Ratas, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
You forgive me.
Oh no! It was a very nice moment for me.
Was it?
Excellent, and you are always welcome back here.
Okay, a nice moment for you, but not so much for me. So you were there the first World Cleanup Day. You're here again on the third. I believe you were cleaning already today, or you're going out to clean?
We cleaned already today, and then mainly the cigarette pads.
Okay, what did you see when you were out there, and what part of Tallinn were you in?
We were quite close by the sea. There is also a very nice park. And what was quite negative that we found quite a lot cigarette pads. Also where the chairs where the people are sitting, and the trash bin is quite, let's say, 1 meter, and you could find the cigarette pads everywhere. That's the problem, actually.
How do you change people's mentality, Prime Minister, when, like you said, the trash can, the rubbish bin is right there, but yet they flick the cigarette butt on the ground?
I think this initiative, what we are doing today all around the world, it's very good, this kind of initiative to show that they must collect these cigarette pads or plastic or glass, different trash. But I think it is so important that we are also teaching our children at homes, in the kindergartens, in the schools. I think that is the most important change.
Because it's a mindset, isn't it? The people, I'm guessing, who dump the cigarette butts, they wouldn't normally get a bottle and throw it on the ground, or a larger piece of rubbish. They just don't think a cigarette butt is a piece of litter.
That's true what you say, and we must change this mindset. And I think the majority of people, they are thinking the cigarette pack is so much trash. We are putting it, I don't know, in the forest or under the chair, and that's okay. But it isn't okay. You must put this trash in the trash bin.
And it was a beautiful day. I'm looking at the footage of you here now out picking up. You found a lot of stuff?
Quite a lot. I think we made more than 1 hour and a half, and that's quite a lot. And there were quite a lot of the younger colleagues as well, the sport persons. And then I asked, is it the first time for them? And they said that's true. But of course, the situation is a little bit different than it was two years ago. We have today the coronavirus everywhere, and I think it's important that we must control this virus, not the virus our societies.
I see you've got your gym pants on as well, Prime Minister. It's a good workout, isn't it?
It's really good, and also physically it's very good, yeah.
What do you think of how World Cleanup Day has developed over the years? When you look at the numbers and all the countries involved, all starting and being run from here in Estonia?
I think if we could manage it 2020, when we had the coronavirus everywhere, and we could manage it very strongly, I am really thankful all of these people, all of these millions volunteers today who are cleaning up our world. I think it is the strongest message that this tradition must continue.
And are you surprised at how things have changed? Obviously, COVID hit everyone by surprise, but we thought maybe World Cleanup Day might not happen, or it just might be so small, but it really has still had a big impact. Are you surprised by that?
Of course, and then I surprised also how we are reacting. Smaller groups, quite a lot individuals work, but we could manage it today as well.
I must ask you as well about the COVID situation, different in countries all over the world. How's it affected Estonia, and what's the situation like now?
Of course, the spring was better than today, but I think we still have this kind of possibility to control the virus. I'm really happy that all our schools are open, the public transport is working. I think that is the most important thing, that the people, they could go to the work. Also the medicines and our doctors, they are doing excellent work. But the most important is, of course, we must be also very careful as well.
And how do you think Estonia seems to have escaped the brunt of it? Other countries, they've had to close schools again, indoor dining is banned, like in the United States. What did Estonia do differently, or what do you think it did right?
I think it's quite hard to say what is the differently, but I think it starts at homes by our individuals. We must wash the hands. If we are feeling that we are sick, then we are stay at home 7 days or 14 days. That is very simple rules.
Well, listen, it's been great talking to you again. Public service you work in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Prime Minister, isn't
yes,
it? Yeah,
that's true. They say so.
They say so, okay. Well, listen, it's been fantastic, and thank you for supporting it.
Thank you, and you are always welcome back.
I'm always welcome back. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to go from our Prime Minister here, and we're heading now to Tanzania. So into that camera there, Prime Minister, say hello to Tanzania.
Hello, Tanzania.
Hello. So Anna, how has this World Cleanup Day been going so far?
It's going great. We have lots of people. We have about 24 locations. And right now we have an average of at least 200 people in each location. It's going super well. I'm here at a place called Salenda Beach. It's quite dirty, lots of people here cleaning, so going well.
Is the turn up something that you expected? Because the situation with the pandemic, it's not that easy to organize big events and big gatherings.
Yes, it's not, but in Tanzania the pandemic is not that bad. We don't actually have restrictions right now from the government. So what happened this year is that we were very late to actually organize the cleanups because we didn't know what the situation was going to be. But as of right now, the situation is not that bad, so it's going well. We didn't have enough time to plan to have as many people as we would like, but we still have a lot of people.
So what's your focus this year? On what type of trash or what type of activities you are focusing now?
Yeah, so we launched the campaign. Let me show you one of the t-shirts here on second. I think you can see. We launched the campaign called Plastic Yako Mazingira Yetu, which is in Swahili means your plastic, our environment. And so this is our big focus for this year. People made like t-shirts with the campaign slogan. It's all over the place, and we are targeting specifically the blue and brown bottles. We have some energy drink bottles like this one here. So we are targeting these ones because they don't get recycled. They are produced inside the country by local companies, and they are flooding everything. We have these bottles everywhere in really large quantities. So we are trying to raise awareness about the bottles and try to push the companies to basically change their packaging.
And how is it working?
It's going well. And the cool thing about the campaign is that people really, really embrace it. So as I said, people made t-shirts with the campaign slogan for today. People are taking pictures of these bottles and uploading to social media. We are also collecting bottles so we can send them to the company so they can see the size of the problem. So it's going quite well.
Do you already know how many blue and brown bottles you have been collecting?
We have several bags full of them, and I don't know how many there are, but there are many.
And this is just from this beach?
Just from this beach and also from the other ones, but they are everywhere.
Anna, I also wanted to ask, you have the support from the government as well, right?
Yes, actually right behind me, here you can see we have our governor for this area. We have several people from the government who always join our cleanups, all the environmental officers. So yes, the government is very supportive of the campaign. The Minister of Environment was here until about half an hour ago.
Anna, tell me, what's your favorite thing about this year? What has surprised you positively the most?
I think my favorite thing about this year is all the dialogues that we have been having around the World Cleanup Day and around the conversation about how we can build a better world post-COVID, And so we have been hosting webinars and we have had a lot of people participating. We have this campaign that people have really, really embraced. So my favorite thing about this year is that I think we have a very unique opportunity and a very painful opportunity as well to basically change things and to change our generational impact. And I'm really hoping that we're going to do that.
Thank you very much, Anna Rocca there in Tanzania for that update, and the best of luck with the rest of your cleanup. Now, here are some of our volunteers who we mentioned a while ago. Hello.
Hi.
What is your name?
Emma.
Emma, where are you from?
I'm originally from Estonia, but I go to college in the US.
Yeah, I was going to say you have that kind of American twang in your voice.
Yep.
What part of the United States of America?
Texas.
Woohoo!
Austin. So
Austin, Texas. That's really happening at the moment. Everyone's moving to Texas.
Yeah, especially like Austin and Dallas.
Why is that? Is that because you're there?
Yeah, exactly. I'm there, so everyone wants to be there.
Everyone wants to be there.
I think it's taxes. I don't know.
Taxes in Texas. It sounds like a country and western song.
Right.
But tell me, what are you studying in university?
International relations and business.
Nice. And what are you working on here at the moment?
Actually, I was calling different countries I was kind of losing track, but I think South Africa's next.
So give us an update on what you are hearing from the countries.
Well, a lot of them are having a difficult time organizing because of COVID, obviously, but they're still hanging in there, and a lot of countries are having great turnouts. So, but a trend we're seeing is having, more individual people turning out, more so than in groups. So.
Yeah, so the show is still going. The show's on the road.
For sure.
Emma, it was great talking to you. And when do you head back to Texas?
In about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, nice. Well, good talking to you. What is your name, sir?
Martin.
Martin. You're from Estonia?
Yes.
Not in Texas as well?
No, quite far from Texas.
Ever been to Texas?
Never.
It's good. They have low taxes in Texas, I just found out. We should both move there. What are you working on at the moment?
I'm writing text from Mauritius. I just called her.
Oh, Mauritius. And what did they say? What's happening there?
They basically have quite liberal corona methods, so they don't have a limit for having a lot of people in the same place. So they can do everything they want.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you very much, Martin, and the best of luck. Look at this young man in here.
Yes,
day
hello.
off school to be here. What's your name, sir?
Jan.
Jan, are you from Estonia?
Yes.
Fantastic, and I like your enthusiasm. What's the best thing about living in Estonia?
That's embarrassing.
Why is it embarrassing?
Because I can think something really
on the
quick,
spot. But what's your favorite thing to do in Tallinn?
I guess stay home.
Come to Tallinn, don't leave your hotel. Just stay in your room. Stay home for a week and then go back to where you came from. You'll have a great time. No, it's a beautiful city, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really.
And what are you doing here at the moment?
I'm getting ready to call Israel.
Oh wow, Israel.
Yes, and I'm very sorry because their time record was at 10 a.m. and we are already 1:30, so yeah.
Because you have so many countries to get through.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool, isn't it, that you get to check in with all these different nations and hear how the cleanup is going?
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
What has surprised you so far?
I guess that what was, I think, where was the explosion?
Oh, in Lebanon.
Yeah, Lebanon.
Lebanon.
Right? They were very enthusiastic and they had a lot of people coming together and still doing the cleaning.
That is
although
incredible.
they have
so much damage. In Beirut and Lebanon.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I won't hold you anymore because you're doing important work and you have a lot to do. And it's interesting you mentioned Lebanon because I've just been told I think we're ready to go to Lebanon. So let's find out, as you mentioned, what the situation is like over in Beirut and Lebanon.
Hello.
How is it going over there?
It's going great. We're in the middle of the cleanup now.
What is the main problem in Lebanon when it comes to waste?
The main problem, well, we have a big problem in waste management in Lebanon. And another problem we face is that people keep throwing waste out of their cars. So there is a lot of when it comes to that.
Okay.
You can see plastic bottles. You can see masks. You can see all sorts of waste on the road.
What about plastic waste and cigarette butts?
Yeah, a lot of plastic waste. A lot of cigarette butts.
What about people?
A lot of plastic bags. JCI as well as many organizations are working on raising awareness on the use of reducing, reusing, and recycling. So we have several recycling facilities that we are collaborating with, and we will be sending the waste that we collect to these facilities recycled.
So what about generally the awareness in Lebanon? Do people, know about? Are they aware about the waste, or is it? Is there a lot to be done in terms of raising awareness about pollution, waste, recycling, etc.?
Yes, actually, in the past few years, we first in 2015 we had a huge waste crisis in Lebanon, and wastes were piled up all over the streets. Protests began in 2015, and then after that year, a lot of civil society organizations, youth organizations started working on spreading awareness on this issue, especially by working with youth and by collaborating with municipalities and governmental agencies.
So you have support from the government.
Sorry?
So the government is actually supporting your efforts.
Yes, last year we collaborated with the government, with the Ministry of Environment. This year we did not because things are very chaotic now in Lebanon. But the government, although they can be sometimes part of the problem, they're not doing enough, but they are willing to support any initiatives in this regard.
Yeah, obviously, you know, we all know around the world that what happened recently in Lebanon, in Beirut, you know, the explosion and all that. So I imagine, you know, there are a lot of other issues in the country. So it's quite admirable that, you know, you find time to raise awareness about the environment and organize this cleanup day. What about generally the situation in Lebanon? Is the country still sort of going through turmoil, or is it getting any better politically?
The situation in the country, life moves on. Life has to go on, even after crisis, even after the biggest explosions and wars. And I think this is the time where we are much needed. There is a gap on different levels, especially in waste management and awareness on this issue. So I think despite everything that is going, it is important to keep our efforts up, to still raise awareness, even though there may be different priorities now in the country. But this is one issue that human beings cannot go on living while disregarding it. So we have to keep on doing everything that we can to live in a healthy environment, and then maybe we can tackle different priorities.
What would you say to people all around the world? Any encouraging words how to achieve a more sustainable future?
Well, we can start by spreading the terms reduce, reuse, and recycle, and this is one. The second thing that I would like to say is that we as people, we have to believe in ourselves, no matter how our efforts may be small in comparison to the effort that should be done, but we can make a difference on a personal level. So starting with a small effort can turn into a ripple effect that can make a much bigger effect.
Excellent. These are great words. And thank you, Kina from Lebanon, and good luck with the rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to our friends there in Lebanon, and of course our thoughts with the country, which has gone through such a difficult period, not just with the explosion that happened a number of months ago, but with the recent economic crash, with COVID-19, with the political instability. So we wish, of course, everyone in Lebanon the very best, and really we admire and we thank all the people who still got up and went out and took part in World Cleanup Day there in Beirut. Now, we spoke to this man 2 years ago. It is Mikkel Kanger. Am I pronouncing that name right?
Almost, yeah.
Almost right. And you are an ecologist, a senior researcher at the University of Tallinn.
Yes.
We were broadcasting from your beautiful university the last time you were here. And what have you got in your hands?
I picked up some cigarette butts nearby my home. There is a kindergarten. And
a kindergarten?
Kindergarten.
Are the children smoking very young here?
I think so, no, but I'm just embarrassed in front of this kindergarten, because my son was also in the same kindergarten, and I'm so embarrassed of the younger generations that this is our generation who throwing such rubbish into the streets, and then they must walk over of these cigarette butts every day. And so I picked up something and to show that it's if the smokers, if they think that this is a safe, to throw away such a rubbish, then why they use filters for their cigarettes? If it's safe, why they use filters?
Let's get into the science of this, Mikkel, because I know a lot of people are under the presumption that a filter on a cigarette butt is just made of paper and cotton wool.
No. It's absolutely no. It's some kind of it's different plastics or I don't recall now this scientific name. It doesn't matter. We don't know what it is. I used some 15 years ago for one experiment. I used cigarette filters material to catch pollen from the air, and I wasn't able to remove it from the samples afterwards. This cigarette filters material. It's just remains there.
It penetrates it. It stays in it.
It stays, and then it's breaks down into the smaller pieces, and then it enters to the food chain. And if it enters to the sea, basically the fishes eats up, and then later we eat up them.
So filter butts by no means are biodegradable. When they land on the ground, they're there to stay for a long time. Maybe even if they disappear, disintegrate, the plastics within them will leak into the soil. And tell me about the most toxic, the tar.
Yeah, if we're looking this freshly used cigarette butts, they are brownish. And if we're looking this older, who has been there on the streets for sometimes, they're getting lighter. This means that this tar from this leaching out to the sea. Yeah, it's washed out to the water, and this is the most dangerous part. The smokers using the filters to avoid that this tar-like things enters their lungs, but now it enters to the nature.
So it's ironic, isn't it? Because they use the filter to stop the toxic going into their body, but they don't mind the toxic plastic tar going into the ground in nature.
Yeah, and then the scientists saying that one cigarette butt with this tar, that this kills half a liter water.
Half a liter of water?
There's a life on half a liter of the water. These microorganisms who are living in sea water, half a liter with one cigarette butt. And if we're considering the trillions of cigarette butts are entering to the sea, that every cigarette butt kills half a liter. Wow. And then slowly we are killing out our oceans.
Because that's the cigarette butt will end up, if it's in a park in the grass or something, and that moisture in the soil will absorb that. So that's half a litre there. And a while ago on the programme, we were talking about the drains, the manholes on the ground that collect the rainwater and bring it to the Baltic Sea here. And people just toss their cigarette butts in there because I think they don't want to start a fire. So they think, oh, if I just toss it in there, it'll be extinguished by the water. But then that is swept right out to the Baltic Sea here.
Yes.
And straight into the ocean.
Yes, and then for people, it's they have solved the problem for themselves. That they have found where to put it, and the cigarette, but it disappears for them. And for them, this problem is solved. But for the society, for the environment, the problem rises. And this is a hidden cost of the smoking. We talk a lot about that the smoking kills people and it's causing the health issues. And we don't allow to smoke in the public places anymore, in the restaurants and pubs, and then this is very good. We don't let to smoke nearby the doors of the shopping centers and so on, but we don't consider that the same toxic waste goes now to the sea. And actually, I don't understand these people. In these days, we talk a lot about hygiene, again, that this COVID virus thing and so on. And some people are just trashing, wasting, and throwing such a not only this tar-like thing into the ground, but also their spits and liquids from their mouth and so on. It's this potentially very, very dangerous thing what they're doing. And for me, it's not understandable that what is their personal hygiene then?
Yeah. And is it because we mentioned a while ago the psychology of it, that, you know, is it because it's out of sight, out of mind? When it's something is that small, they would never, some of these people would take like a sheet of paper like that and throw it on the ground because you can see it. Whereas something like that, if they take it and flick it, it disappears into the air from where you're standing, and you're like, oh, that's it, gone, it's taken care of. So maybe the psychology of it, people don't think it's litter, out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, this is what the psychologists are saying, that yes, that it is much harder to think about these very abstract things, and much more easier to think about the things what you can see, what you can feel, touch. So that if you are throwing away, it takes a lot of resources of your brain to understand what's happening afterwards with these cigarette
butts. And to quantify it too, because again, it's so small, you think, okay, I understand the science, I understand this is bad for the environment, but because of the sheer tiny size of it, it's not going to make any difference. But when you say that it's between 6 and 7 trillion cigarette butts are thrown away every year, 6 and 7 trillion. So your mind has to quantify that and say, well, that multiplied by 6 or 7 trillion, it's a hard thing to comprehend, isn't it?
Yeah, such a big numbers to imagine something like this as a pile of cigarette butts what are throwing away. And if to think about in larger picture, what good these cigarettes are bringing to society, it brings only the cost, the health costs, the environmental costs, and because of these cigarette butts, we need to collect money. Our prime minister needs to take care of the environmental things, to collect the taxes from us, to take care, to build up the environmental protection systems, because we ourselves destroying the environment through using these cigarettes.
From your point of view as an ecologist and a scientist, when you look at the environment today, I know I'm speaking so broadly, but of the 6 trillion cigarette butts, I read that 4.5 trillion of them end up back in nature.
Yes.
I was speaking to a marine biologist yesterday who was talking about plastics and now microplastics and nanoplastics in the oceans. They don't even know how to detect the nanoplastics, let alone how to get them out of the oceans. I asked her a question, maybe it seemed a bit bleak, but has the planet almost reached the point of no return?
I think that the planet survives. If we think about the life on the planet, they have survived Earth. Through these billions of years when life has been on the Earth. But through this history of the life on Earth, they have always found solutions to the problems what can cause troubles for the life system itself. And at the moment, we must admit that we are the problem. And I'm sure that nature somehow will find solution to take care of us as well. But we probably we don't like this solution. What the nature can come up, the COVID can be one example. What weapons the nature has to protect herself. But we have the brains. We have the greatest tool what the nature has developed ever, probably. And we could use it, not to destroy the nature, but we can use it also to take care of ourselves, to survive. And I think that on this, we are in very, very limit. If we are not reached over the point already, but at least we are in very edge at the moment to do backup and picking up the cigarette butts. It's dealing just with problem, but we need to deal with the causes. And this comes from our education, comes from very big systematic changes what we need in our society.
It's been fascinating talking to you, like it was 2 years ago here in Tallinn. Mikhail Kangur.
Kangur.
I got it right. Ecologist, senior researcher at Tallinn University. Thank you so much, as they're doing. There you go. And well done in doing that this morning. We'll leave you here for 1 second. You can stand there. Where are we going next again, Ova? You can tell me in my earpiece. It's all changing, live television. Now, we're going to a rubbish walk. Have you ever been on a rubbish walk?
No, not like this. Yeah.
You had to think about it. Well, there's a guy in the UK called Jason. Jason Alexander. He is a passionate guy, a bit like you, Mikhail, and he organises rubbish walks. But at the moment, he is doing something like you're doing. You have a packet of cigarette butts there. He has got in his house 750,000 cigarette butts. Here he is. Take it away, Jason.
But what we've got to try and do is find new and interesting ways of getting that message across, because if we're all saying the same thing, then it gets a bit boring. So I thought I'd have a little go at creating a few little different characters. So the containers behind me here are full of cigarette butts. And there are, how many have we got there? In those tubs, there's about 250,000 of them, I've been collecting them for a while as part of my 1 million butts campaign. And actually this morning I was out collecting cigarette butts, and I've just gone through the 750,000 mark. So 750,000 cigarette butts collected around Ipswich and the surrounding areas.
Now, Jason, that number just seems overwhelming. You did not pick up on your own 750,000 cigarette butts, did you?
I have. Of those cigarette butts, I've picked up every single one, with the exception of probably about 20,000, I would say. And for the first 250,000 or so, I counted every single one of them.
So you're trying to collect 1 million cigarette butts. Why? Why collect 1 million? What are you trying to tell the world?
Well, I thought it was one of the best ways of trying to continually raise awareness over an extended period about the issues of cigarette butts. One of the things that I tend to see a lot, particularly on social media, is there are lots of campaigns, short-lived campaigns that come and go. And I thought, well, 1 million cigarette butts, that's going to take me quite a while to do that.
Jason Alexander was once known as the wildlife gadget man. He would build cameras to picture nature, and a few years ago he decided to picture 100 sunrises in 1 year, but it didn't go as planned.
That's it. Well, I'm very lucky living on the east coast of the UK. I get to see sunrises over the ocean, which is absolutely fantastic. So I was out photographing sunrises, but what I found was that I was moving litter out of the way to get the best shot I possibly could. And I was always brought up by my parents to not to litter and to put any rubbish that I have in the bin. So any litter that I was moving out of the way when I was taking the shots, I would take with me and pop it in the nearest bin, or to bring it home and pop it in the recycling bin. And that soon became an integral part of my daily routine.
It was then that Jason decided to do something about it.
We see lots of social media posts, and lots of people like and share them, and many like and share and think that that's their bit. They've done what they can to try and help solve some of the world's problems. The problem is clicking a button on a keyboard isn't really going to change anything in the real world. In the grand scheme of things, what we actually need to do is to get outside and actually do some of these things, take physical action in the real world. So it's fantastic liking and sharing, and it's a great way of spreading the message, but we need to get out and actually do things as well in our neighbourhoods and our local communities, and far and wide, as far as we can go.
Jason has come up with a clever and creative way of furthering the cause, bringing his message to schools to change attitudes of littering at a young age, including the world's smallest puppet theatre made out of microplastics.
So we've got a few stories that we're going to be sharing. Thanks very much.
There's nothing better than a man with passion, and Jason Alexander is certainly a man with passion. Anyone who stays at home and makes puppets and tiny puppet theatres out of microplastics, he's a good guy by my reckoning. And thanks so much, Jason, for talking to me earlier on in the week. He's also running a campaign this week called Blitz the Butt, where he's encouraging people across the UK and all around the world to pick up cigarette butts. So he's on the same wavelength as us, he's on the same page. And Jason, thanks so much again. Now, sticking with the theme of cigarette butts and how we can get them off the ground and into the bin and into the recycling plant is a festival that happens here in Estonia. It's a music festival called the Island Festival. So the Island Festival, and as part of the festival, the people who come to it, they go around and they pick up the cigarette butts. And to tell us more is Caddy.
We're joined by Kadi Agurajuja, the Sustainability Manager of Island Sound Festival, and artist Ines Vilido. Now we're looking at this beautiful stand-up paddleboard nicknamed Buttboard. What is Buttboard?
Buttboard is an awareness-raising project that aims to attract attention to the cigarette butts littering. And it's made of 5.1 kilograms of cigarette butts that were collected at the Island Sound Festival 2019 using this reusable and pocket-sized cigarette butts container cups and specially built cigarette butt stations that we made of old window frames and glass jars.
How did you come up with this idea?
Well, it's actually grew out of a personal necessity because the story of this board actually goes back to the 2017 when the first ever Island Sound Festival had just come to an end and a carpet of cigarette butts was laid over the entire festival area despite of the many trash bins. So picking those butts up one by hand took days and we knew that we had to find a solution. So by 2018 we had these cups that improved the situation remarkably. But in the process of finding this ashtray, we realized that it's actually a lack of awareness that is causing this problem. So a year ago, another idea struck us that actually we can just collect all the cigarette butts together that are produced during the 4 days of our event and turn them into an object that attracts attention to this issue and helps to raise awareness. So this is how it was born.
Ines, what's the creative idea behind this butt board? What inspired you?
I think the picture says it all. It kind of just, I don't know if you can say that the cigarette butts inspired me, because they're not very, it's not a particularly great material to work with because it smells and it's a bit nasty, but yeah, just the material itself kind of created the picture in my head.
How many cigarette butts are in this butt board?
That's a good question. They collected 5.1 kilograms, but it's about 4 kilograms. I'm not sure how much this is in.
Well, 1.5 kilograms is about 29,000 units. It's been calculated by the gram of the one filter, how much it weighs. So this is how we got them. We didn't, count them one by one. No. It's calculated by using the filter weight.
So what are your future plans? Obviously, this is the single one right now, but are you planning to simply raise awareness or manufacture them?
Well, the purpose of this butt board is to carry spread the message as far as possible that butts are litter, please don't throw them on the ground, they really harm the environment. And we've proved it actually, well, it works. It works, it stays on water and you can paddle with it, but still we're planning to put it out on an exhibition somewhere with high traffic of people, so to spread the message as far as possible.
And what if someone wanted to manufacture them?
Well, we can't say no, we don't have a patent or something, but we just made one for awareness raising purposes, so.
Who knows?
But who knows, maybe it's a new business,
Do you have any inspirational words for people and businesses out there?
It's like I said previously, it's lack of awareness that there's a widespread misunderstanding that butts compost in the environment like any other natural ingredient, and therefore people don't even think of them as litter. But they take about 6 months to 15 years to decompose in nature. And meanwhile, animals and fish and birds can mistakenly take those pieces for food. So eventually we ourselves eat, contaminated food. And it's just like, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open when you see someone, throwing it on the ground. Just like step up and say what it's actually all about, because it's just, people just don't know. It's not even like they're mean people, but they don't know. And also amongst your friends, just tell about it, tell the story. And that's also the purpose of this board.
Kadi and Ines, thank you.
There you go. Thanks to all our friends at the Island Festival for all they do. They're a sustainable festival. They're big into recycling, and now they're teaming up with World Cleanup Day, picking up the cigarette butts at the festival. Well, that is it for this show, but don't forget, we'll be back again throughout the day. Our next live broadcast on YouTube and on Facebook and loads of other platforms will be in 1 hour, where we'll be updating you on more countries as we follow the green wave across the world, from Asia, across Europe and Africa, right into the United States of America. Isn't that right? Yeah, we need more coffee. Let's do that one more time. Isn't that right? Yeah. For just now, it's goodbye from Tallinn in Estonia.